In Chile, over a decade ago, young Gabriel Boric began his political career as a student leader, which turns him into a public figure. Years later, he ran for president. Today, the students who mobilized under his administration cannot exercise the same right he did. It's been a week since the high school students began a series of protests. Our correspondent in Chile, Paula Dragni, tells us what happened.
Take a good look. There you have several burly, heavily armed men lashing out at teenagers no older than 15. One of them even passed out after being shot. Several were taken from the high school where they were protesting in Santiago de Chile, and another one was subdued by police while observing the rest of his classmates. These are students from the reputed Instituto Nacional High School, protesting for better study conditions, but the persecution is so great that even their parents are now asking for their identity to be protected.
My child was standing in the street. He wasn't doing anything. He was raped by these people who claim their job is to protect us and take care of us.
The three students denounced excessive police force, as well as the decision by the prosecutor's office of subjecting them to a detention control hearing on the charge of disorderly conduct.
School protest in Chile today is criminalized a priori. Most of the emblematic high schools are surrounded by police forces as if there was a war that is being monitored with drones, even during recess. That's how they go to classes, and that's how they exit the premises. Parents are trying to denounce this pressure against their children because besides the direct action by the police, they are resorting to regulations that allow for the expulsion of students considered problematic.
We have gathered outside the National High School Institute to say enough with the repression our children are experiencing with these fixed posts of special forces stationed outside emblematic high schools.
Please put an end to this protocol that only exposes the students to be repressed or arrested.
After 2 years of online classes, transitioning to face-to-face classes has not been easy. Students from this and other high schools are asking for psychological support, for an increase in the number of teachers, for attention to neurodivergent youngsters, and for improvements in infrastructure and food supply.
That is why in this petition drafted by an elected commission of the People's Rights Promotion and Defense Corporation, we say that we also need more school supplies and funding.
Adding to the repression and persecution, now they're being discredited by the press, who in a macro tone is only referring to demands regarding sex education and condoms or vegan food, and they publish anonymous letters from alleged teachers criticizing the protests, while the students do not hide their identities and are willing to talk.
We can't say their name because they are afraid of what might happen to them. That's a dictatorship.
The media has shown very little sense in publishing that letter to the person who wrote it. We say, come on, let's sit down and talk.
They are creating a dangerous narrative to discredit them. In the last area high school in Santiago, after holding massive meeting, the students decided to take over the campus to make their demands heard. During the march, a civilian car ran over 4 of those students.
We tried to chase the car, but we couldn't do anything because it took off very fast. As I was coming back, and another car came by, a Chevrolet, I think, and tried to run me over.
There was a lot of risk because the police was following us, closing in on us, and also bystanders, and people in vehicles were shouting many things at us, saying that we were skipping classes, that it was all lies and blood. That's why we have submitted a petition.
I deeply resent the fact that we students cannot march peacefully, because we as minors will be running the risk of being run over or arrested. The truth is that this cannot go on.
These were considered as heroes back in 2019, when they awoke the nation to the need of a new constitution. But today, when ironically former student leaders are governing school children, are viewed as that international enemy so useful for progressive democracies.
Paola Drachnik, teleSUR, Chile.